G'day, and an important video today. That's why I'm putting this video on both of my YouTube channels, because it's important it reaches as many people as possible. And what I'm talking about today are drone regulations. Don't glaze over, come on, this is really important, because in the European Union, in Europe, the EASA, which is their safety aviation something or other, they've come up with a prototype regulation for drone control. And honestly, it is really, really bad, and it threatens the whole hobby in Europe and the UK at the moment. I mean, effectively, if this prototype rule goes through, then none of us will be flying RC models anymore. We'll be flying toys, probably indoors, because I'll give you a very quick overview of what they're talking about now. This is the crowd that sets the regulations. They want to restrict the maximum mass of a model, and the mass is just weight times gravity, the maximum mass of a model to 250 grams. 250 grams, that's half a pound in the old money, half a pound. So you can't have anything bigger than half a pound. Now this is, I should clarify, there are several categories here. There is A0 through to A3, I think it is. And as traditional modelers, we like to build stuff, put stuff together, you know, even if it's just an ARF, you know, put servos in and an ESC and a battery and whatever. Well, unfortunately, there's only one category that allows you to do it yourself, and that's A0. And in A0, maximum mass, 250 grams. That's all you get, 250 grams. So you can forget about AXNs, you can forget about multiplex fun cubs, you can forget about building your own racing mini quad. No, it's all too heavy. It falls over the 250 gram limit. But it gets worse. It's way, way worse than just the weight limit, because any craft that you might build yourself in the A0 category must also be limited to no more than 50 meters of altitude. And that doesn't mean that you're only allowed to fly it to 50 meters. It means that the craft itself must contain technology that stops anyone from flying over 50 meters altitude above ground. So this would mean barometric sensor, ultrasonic ranging, something like that, which is a lot more weight. So getting it under 250 grams is going to be even harder. Also, you're not allowed to fly, and the craft must prohibit you from flying more than 100 meters away from yourself. So you'll be limited to doing circles with a 200 meter diameter, 100 meter radius. You might as well fly control line. You don't need radio control, just the old control line. That's what you'll be stuck with. And finally, the maximum speed of these craft has to be 54 kilometers an hour, 50 meters a second. So even if you were able to build like a 130 size mini racing quad that met all the requirements, because it had GPS on board so you could geofence and all that sort of stuff, it couldn't fly faster than 54 kilometers an hour, which is about 32 miles an hour in the old money. So your races would be timed with a calendar, not a stopwatch. That's how ridiculous it is. So it kills the entire hobby. There's no more, even a DLG. Now I've got a little DLG, just under 100 grams, have a lot of fun with it. It's not a threat to anybody. It's so lightweight, and it's got, you know, very thin film and balsa construction. But it would be illegal under these regulations, because there's no way I could limit its maximum height to 50 meters, and there's no way I could limit its maximum range from me to 100 meters. And besides which, why would you? The whole gliding thermal soaring scene would be completely dead, because thermals really only start getting any energy in them when they're up to 50 meters or more. So you just start getting a bit of lift, whoop, can't go any higher. It's ridiculous, it's crazy. It is regulation designed by what I call desk pilots. Now these are people who have no experience, no skill, no knowledge, no understanding of the things they're regulating. If you went into the EASA and spoke to the desk pilots who made these crazy rules up, I bet you none of them would have flown RC models for any length of time at all, if at all. I mean, look at it this way. I've flown radio-controlled or model aircraft for about over 55 years. I've done tens of thousands of hours of model flying. I know the ins and outs of the technology, I know the ins and outs of the aerodynamics and the models, and I like to think that since I have never injured anybody and never damaged any third-party property in those entire 55 years, I understand what's involved in flying things safely. You get some 35-year-old desk jockey or desk pilot who's read a book on models, he's making rules, he's telling me what's safe, he's telling you what's safe. No, that's not going to work. But unless the hobby community acts now, this is going to become pretty much the world situation, because if the EASA regulations are accepted, then the UK will accept them as well. Even if they've gone through the Brexit thing and they're no longer a part of the European Union, they will accept it. And then, of course, it spreads around, and you might get Canada because they're part of the Commonwealth, and then you might get Australia because they're part of the Commonwealth, New Zealand, and before you know it, everyone will be restricted to flying toys like, I've lost the other bit. Oh, toys like this inside. That'll be the whole hobby. Flying stuff like this inside. That's it. And nothing else. So why are they killing our hobby? Because we're letting them. So I've linked in the description of this video to a whole lot of other videos other people have put up on this very subject. Go and look at them. And there's a petition running on the UK Parliament website. You can go and, if you live in the UK, you can go and sign that because that's really important to let people know. And you can actually make a submission to the EASA, but you've only got a few days to do that. So go and look at that. Do it now. Do it now. Say, very politely, we are not happy with this proposed regulation because following reasons, the hobby is one of the safest hobbies in the world, and please do not tar all model flyers as droners because droners are a different group of people. The people who fly their Phantom 4s and other GPS-guided systems without due care and attention and without responsibility, they over here. We are a hobby over here. We've had decades of safe operation in the airspace. So don't confuse us with them. So just put that case to them. You need to do it. If you don't, this could be the thin end of the wedge, and before you know it, only criminals will be flying model aircraft. There you go. Thank you. Look at the links. Take some action. Do it now.